big fight announcements from the UFC. We have got the UFC Fight Night Seattle main event, and it is Triple C Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. Now, this isn't a matchup that I thought was going to be next for Henry Cejudo, to be honest. The guy is on a 2-fight losing streak, but when you look at the names that he's lost to, in Aljamain Sterling, who's the greatest UFC bantamweight of all time, and then Merab, who is the current UFC bantamweight champion, on track, one win off, becoming the greatest UFC bantamweight of all time. It's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. Song Yadong, though, is going to be a tough matchup for him. Song Yadong's ranked number 8, I believe, in the bantamweight division. Henry Cejudo is ranked number 7. So in terms of rankings, it does make sense. But Song Yadong is 10 years younger than Henry Cejudo, but he has a lot of experience at the elite level. This guy's been in there with the likes of Chito Vera, who he beat, Corey Sandhagen, and Peter Yan.
Bruh.
So this guy is no stranger to elite, tough competition. He's been in there with some of the best in the bantamweight division, and Henry Cejudo won't be no different to him. Now, like I said, he's got good takedown defense, he's extremely powerful, and he's got good boxing. This is a really tough matchup for Henry Cejudo. Now, Henry Cejudo, what is he going to come out with? Like, what's his game plan this time round? Is he going to be wrestling heavy against Song Yadong, or is he going to do his usual stuff where he's in the karate stance and mixes up the grappling? I think his best way to beating Song Yadong is by just coming in with a very grappling heavy approach. Now, as we all know, he is an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, so the guy can take you down, but Henry Cejudo's never been that great at taking, especially in the bantamweight division, taking people down, holding them there and controlling them. He's never really been that great at doing that in the bantamweight division, and this is the thing with Henry Cejudo. The guy basically took his entire prime off for more money, which he never got, which is one of the worst, biggest L moves I've ever seen in UFC history. He is back now, but he wasted all his best years, and the bantamweight division now, I just don't think Henry Cejudo is best suited to it. I just think these guys are so much bigger than him naturally. I always thought he might have fought Chito Vera. I know he called out O'Malley. I never really thought that fight was going to happen. I thought he might have fought Chito Vera. I thought that was going to be a possibility because I'm pretty sure that fight was booked before. Or alternatively, I thought he was going to go down, fight Brandon Moreno maybe, and then fight for a title if he won, or just go down and fight for the title right away. But we're getting this matchup right here. He's staying in the UFC bantamweight division. This is going to be a 5-rounder. 5 rounds, I'd say, favours Henry Cejudo. But this is a tough one, like. It really is. Because it's kind of hard to judge how good Henry Cejudo is. Because he gave Aljo a close fight, but he got completely whitewashed by Merab. So it's kind of hard to judge where Henry Cejudo actually is in his career. Does he still have it or does he not because of those losses that he had? But then again, the level of competition he lost to. It's a difficult one. I'm going to go Henry Cejudo decision. Yeah, I'm going to go Cejudo decision. Moving on to the co-main event, we have got Dominic Cruz versus Rob Font. Look, I would love Dominic Cruz to win this. He won't though. Not saying Rob Font is this really special elite fighter, but Dominic Cruz's best days are like 59 years behind him. And his movement that he does, the lunges, the footwork that he does, he hasn't been active. He's getting up there in age. I'm guessing this is his retirement fight, more than likely. Rob Font's a good boxer, has been active, has been in there with some big names recently, coming off a big win over Kyler Phillips as well, who essentially everybody thought he was being fed to lose to. Rob Font got the win there. Dominic Cruz's just best days are behind him. I don't think his footwork and all, he's not going to be as fluid. I think he's obviously going to be a lot slower. Like I said, the guy is getting up there in age now. It is a 3-rounder, which is probably more beneficial to Dominic Cruz in terms of him getting a win. Just don't see it happening. I think, like I said, time and time again, I've repeated it now, his best days are behind him. Rob Font will win this matchup, unfortunately. Now, let's move on to the card itself. This is it right here. Henry Cejudo, Song Yadong. Now, this is the order, so stay with me here. I like Edson Barboza. I like Gene Silva. Gene Silva's in a tough matchup, by the way. Why are they above Brendan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez? That there is an absolute sleeper matchup. And that there's what? Second fight in the main card. We've also got Michael Chiesa on this card, by the way. This is the thing with the UFC. You have the roster to make good fight night cards. I don't know why they don't do it. Well, I do know, because they don't want to pay the money. Like, we've got, to start 2025, we've got Mackenzie Dern, I believe, versus Ribas in a fight night main event in the Apex.
Huh?
That's main eventing a fight night card. But then this is main eventing another. You've got the roster. Get out of the Apex and start giving us high level, good fight night cards. The Apex is the best and worst thing to ever happen to the UFC. It was amazing, obviously, during COVID and lockdown. Now, it's had its purpose. Move on. But yeah, like I said, this right here should arguably, I would arguably put this even co-main and Dominic Cruz, Rob Font feature fight, to be honest. That's what I would do. We've got Gene Silva coming back, like I said, in a tough matchup. I think he will win, but this is a tough matchup. We've got Edson Barboza versus Steve Garcia. Always nice to see Edson Barboza. And just to round it off, let's just look at the rest of the card. So you've got other names on there. Kutilaba's on the card. This is the fight I want to talk about right here. We have got Curtis Blades, the number 5 ranked heavyweight in the UFC, versus Kuniev, who's not even ranked in the UFC. I believe this is his UFC debut. This is a completely separate video, but Khabib Nurmagomedov can never comment on Irish MMA fighters in different promotions when his people are the most privileged in all of MMA history. All of MMA history. No one gets the privilege like the Russian Dagestani fighters. No one gets this privilege. No other group of fighters. It is only them. So that's why they've got all these high ranked guys, or these guys going in the challenge for titles and big position fights, because they get gifted these to be put in these positions. He hasn't earned a fight with Curtis Blades. I can guarantee you right now, where he's from has a big part to play in him getting this fight, because it's not as if he's a really well-known name outside on the regional scene either. The guy does have some wins. He's got a win over Renan Ferreira, who, as we all know, was Francis Ngannou's last opponent, but he pops for PEDs in that fight, so he cheated, which is another thing that the Russian fighters are known for, that Khabib Nurmagomedov skips up on talking about. Again, separate video. But yeah, this right here should be on the main card. I don't know why it's not. The Curtis Blades disrespect's crazy. But UFC Fight Night Seattle has shaped up to be a nice one, and I'm looking forward to this. Proves that the UFC have the roster and can do it. The Apex is thankfully shutting for renovation, I think, this year. So we will get more of these, which the UFC should be doing now anyway. Have fight nights in South America, all over North America, all over Europe, all over Australia. I mean, where else have you got? Asia. I would love to see them go to Africa as well. Get out of the Apex and start doing more like this. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again in the next one.